Okay, this is brand new Cecilia plus why she's 30 and she's never had a girlfriend or boyfriend. Um, Now, this is the very first time I've ever reacted to her, so I kind of want to give her some grace. And I just found this very interesting. This was made a month ago, 80,000 views, and she has 3,000 subscribers, so good for her. So without further ado, let's get into it. I will say this as an opening statement. I automatically prejudged her, right? Off bat, just based off this title. I'm like, oh, well, you're 30, you never had a boyfriend or girlfriend? Oh, something must be wrong with you psychologically, or your standards may be too high. But I hope that within this video, I understand why she hasn't had it. I mean, maybe she could have had some trouble growing up where she was raped multiple times by a dude or something, and that may build up a blockade. Just trying to give her some grace. But if you're asking me my opinion, of course, this is mine alone. I think that is very weird for a 30-year-old to not have had at least one real serious relationship. Um, that's just how I feel personally. But maybe she can change my mind with this video. I'm open to change. I mean, I'm never closed off. I'm always looking and seeking knowledge, you know. The older I get, the more wisdom I want to acquire. So without further ado, let's get into this. I want to put this in 1.5 because this is a long video. So let me do that real quick. Playback speed 1.5. If you want it to go slower, you can obviously slow down the video. All right, make sure we're recording. We are. Let's get into it.
I appreciate that. I'm excited that you're excited. So the reality is I've actually talked about this topic on YouTube before. On my other channel, I talked about how, I was 28 years old and had never been in a relationship before. I'm about to be 30 in a couple months, and I don't really feel like much has changed. However, I've gotten some new insight to things that might be challenges for me. But I do want to say, before we get into it, that it's okay. If you're like me, even if you're younger than me and you're watching this and you are in the same predicament, you're like, oh my God, like I've never been in a relationship either. No one's ever loved me either. I've never been in love either. Girl, we in this together. But also, it's okay. I think that there's other things that can be very fulfilling in life. I just want to speak for what I'm feeling. And you can tell me what you're feeling. Like, where are you at emotionally, mentally, all that kind of stuff. Where are you at? Where I'm at? Let's talk about it. Like I said, I've made a video about this before. And in that video, I kind of detailed just the certain reasons why, like, being in a relationship or being with someone, having a significant other, having children, being married is so important in my family, like in my circle of people closest to me. It gives you status and importance as a woman. And I know that there are a lot of people who probably share the same sentiment, especially for a woman my age.
I'm one of those people. I think again, I think when you're in your 20s and 30s, it's more like being more open, more experimental, trying different things, you know, trying different hairstyles, trying new clothes. You're probably going to get a degree, trying new jobs, trying to figure out what you want out of your life because everybody's life is different. So for her not to, have no experience when it comes to having a good relationship, missing out on that experience when she's in her 20s and 30s, going into her 30s to 40s, she's going to be missing something, missing a piece of the puzzle, if you will. I think it's going to be like, how can I describe this? When you are in this like serious relationship, you kind of mold yourself around that person and they'll mold themselves around you to make, and then that will make you better. Better of a person, whether it be ending your relationship with them and going to the next person and you end up being a better person for the next person, or being a better person in the relationship with your partner and you might get married. So, hey, my girlfriend, I like to have a clean house, right? Who doesn't? All the time I'm not going to be able to clean. My girlfriend, she's molded. She know I likes to clean, so she'll mold herself to clean as well. My girlfriend likes to eat. I like to eat as well. She doesn't like to cook all the time. I'll mold myself to cook when she doesn't like to cook. We'll mold ourselves to make the other person that we like feel comfortable, right? feel better about themselves. We'll build ourselves up for that too. Let's get back into the video. I think she'll be missing that. You'll be missing that. You can only build yourself off yourself. So you're going to be missing that integral piece when it goes from 20s to 30s, 30s to 40s. Let's go back into it.
Out children who has never been in a relationship, my status and worth as a woman, I think out in the world maybe is not high, especially at my age, but I think also within my family, it's the same way. They expect me to have kids. They expect me to be married. These are the things that make a woman worth talking to. What I mean by that is like, it's easier to...
I think now in your 30s or in your 20s, we don't expect you to be married. It's not, I don't think that's the norm anymore. Maybe back in the 1900s, but in the 2020s, that's not the norm. I think, again, 20s to 30s is more of an experimental phase. You're trying to figure out what you are. 30s to 40s is more of a settling down phase. That's when you tend to get more stable of an income. You tend to know what you want in life, who you want in life, and how you're going to go about life. Let's get back into the video.
Have a birthday party or a play date for your kids or it's easier to interact with my family, you know what I mean, if under those circumstances. It's like some kid's birthday, it's some kids, somebody's gonna be born, somebody's getting married, somebody, you know what I mean. Those are the opportunities at which those are the events where we are most likely to get together. Conversations center around how's the kids, how's the husband, how's your man, what's going on in your love life. That's like the most important types of conversations to be had with the women in my family, which isolates me because I have nothing to add. I'm not dating anybody, I ain't got no damn kids. I talked about that in my previous video, and I think that I still feel that way. I still feel like I have a major disconnect from all of the women in my family for this reason. Like, we don't have anything to talk about.
Pause. She feels socially isolated. That's a big... she feels socially isolated, right? Almost 28. I don't mean to be rude. I'm not trying to pick on her, and I'm going to give her grace, but... does she not find that weird? If you feel as if you are socially isolated from your family, wouldn't that want to make you change? Like, hey, if all these people are telling me, hey, how's the family, how's the girl, how's the kids, how's the husband, and I don't have it, that's a problem. Shouldn't I want to change that or make myself better? Maybe I should attempt to get somebody. Me personally, that's what I would think. But obviously everybody is not me. So everybody's perspective is different. Continue.
I think socially, in my immediate social circle, which is typically your family and stuff like that, it is, what's the word? It make me feel not so good. You know what I mean? Wow, Ciel, you're so eloquent. Look at how you use your words. So powerful. When I think about out in the world, how the world views me, I know that those things are also very important out in the world. I will say that that part affects me much less. I don't give a damn about what anybody outside of my social circles has to say about anything that I've got going on. And thus, I don't really subscribe to the idea that a woman loses her worth after age 18 or 25. I think that's very ridiculous. If you think about it from the...
I agree. It's very ridiculous. I, in fact, think women accrue worth over time. They accrue worth from... excuse me, I was looking at my cat. They accrue worth from experience. Experience. Age equals wisdom.
Perspective of maybe men, maybe some women share that same sentiment. I guess you could say that if that's how they operate in life, then, and that's what they believe, then that is their reality. Okay, but other people's reality doesn't have to be your reality. You know what I mean? And I don't subscribe to that. So yeah, in society, within my social circles, that kind of thing, it's like two different feelings I feel. On one hand, it's upsetting that I can't connect to the women around me and the women closest to me because of this major, like, it's like in a video game that I don't have I didn't do a certain quest line, so I don't have the topics of conversation needed to engage in dialogue. So that's upsetting, but when it comes to the world, I don't give a damn. Like, I don't care. And maybe that's a problematic view. Maybe that's causing me issues. I still don't.
She knows the problem. Well, there is no problem, but she feels as if she doesn't have the experience. Again, I don't know how many men have approached her or anything, but it seems like anybody would want that experience, but she just doesn't have it. That's about it.
Don't care. Personally, I always thought that I would be married by now. I thought I would have kids. I thought I would at least have 2 kids by 25 and get married. Now, the pandemic Lovato started like right when I turned 25, which was, and I feel like it has literally stunted me ever since. And I know the pandemic Lovato has also been, it has also been over for a couple years, right? Over. But I feel like mentally, especially when you pair it with like not so great mental health, it's like mentally, emotionally, I'm just kind of stagnant. And so those ideas that I would have been married and had kids by now, they feel distant, and they feel like it's unbelievable to me that they weren't realized, because I feel like 2020 and like being 25 was like yesterday. Mentally, I don't feel like much time has passed. When in reality, a lot of time has passed. So much time has passed. Oh my God. And it's not even just like the outward idea, right, of being married, or you know what I mean, or having children. It's like, just like, it's not about like the look of it, but I don't know. Sometimes I feel like in my day to day, like I'm missing. I wish I had those interactions with, like, I wish I could listen to my kids tell me about elementary school right now and babble, and and
Bro, hold on. She's fighting herself. You're fighting yourself. So at one point, you say, I wish I would have. She doesn't care about anything society has to say, but then she also wanted kids at 25, and she feels like the pandemic has stunted her growth. Imagine like a pin board is in front of me, and I'm trying to connect the red ribbon to everything she says. So it seems as if maybe she's not getting approached by men. Let's continue the video. That's my first hypothesis.
I could buy them Hello Kitty plushies and decorate the rooms and kiss their little boo boos, and you know what I mean. I wish that I could take care of them. I love kids. I love babies. I'm not a woman who hates children. Yeah. In this day and age, it's like, whoa, you know what I mean? Most young people, the youth, are expressing a lot of disdain for children, and also disdain for having children. And I understand the disdain or the not wanting to have children in this climate, in this world, in this country. It's like, yeah, girl, I get it, because anyway, but I mean, even like having a significant other, I didn't think about it very often until recently. And I was in the car with my mom in LA, and I told her, I was like, we're engaging in a conversation about this topic, and I told her, because she, kept saying, well, it's going to happen one day. Well, it's going to happen when you least expect it. It's going to happen. Like, and I just told her, I was like, I truly don't think so. I think it's very unlikely. And to be honest, like, I have like a cousin. She's like in her 60s or 70s. She's never been married, I don't think. She's been single. She doesn't have any kids, I don't think, either. Like, she's just been doing her own thing. Hey, Bonnie. But like, I'm like, I feel like
Saying her name in the video is absolutely insane. What?
I'm
Oh,
destined
wow. That's funny. What's me? It's messed up.
to that fate. And I could be wrong. And obviously, my mom's like, don't put that kind of thing out in the atmosphere if you do want to get married and have children. But I'm like, I have quite literally never been in love. I don't know what that feels like. And I told her, do you know what it feels like to have never been in love, or to have never been loved? Now, I am probably sure that at some point someone has loved me, and it's been unrequited. That is what it is. I'm sorry. And let's get into that, okay?
What?
All right, let's get into that. So, like, yeah, I'm picky. And not only am I picky, but
Red flag number one. I was giving her grace, but she said I'm picky. Um, it's very interesting. Okay, let's get into it.
I'm shallow. But not only am I shallow, I have a very hard time connecting to people. I will say that most of my dating experience has been with the opposite sex. I consider myself bisexual. I am bisexual, but I've never pursued a relationship with a woman before. So I'm only going to be speaking about my interactions, my experience with the opposite sex. And you might be thinking, maybe that's your problem. Hey, I don't want any advice. I feel like I said that earlier. I don't know if I said that. I'm not looking for advice.
She doesn't want advice. Okay.
We're just having it. We're just talking. We're just chatting, right? We're yapping. I am incredibly picky. I'm very shallow when it comes to what I like. However, I will say that for me, when it comes to like physical attraction, I like a range of things. I just feel like it all has to add up on the right person. Does that make sense? So like, I don't have.
But she's single. So how can you be? You've been single your entire life. You say you've been picky, but you haven't found success. If you're not finding success, if A plus B does not make C, maybe you got A and B messed up. Maybe you should do A plus C equals C. You know, maybe you need to change the formula a little bit. Um, it's crazy. Maybe you should. I would say lower your standards, but she don't want advice, so she knows what she wants. And again, age grants wisdom, and she says she's stunned. She feels stunned mentally. So maybe this is my hypothesis. In her mind, she's still that 25-year-old. She's not 28. It hasn't set in that she's older. So she's still in that phase where, yeah, I still got time. I still got time. But time's a ticking. Time's a ticking. Time always ticks. Time always wins. So somebody needs to burst her bubble, tell her, hey, you're not 3 years younger anymore. Your clock's ticking. If you want kids, maybe you should settle, find a good man that maybe may not have all the qualities that you want, but some of them, you know. She don't want advice, so it's very weird. Closing statements. I was gonna give her grace, but she says she's very picky and stuff like that. And I don't. At this point in time, if you haven't had a successful relationship at 30, and you're still picky, I don't think you will ever have a good one. And the comments in here are very positive, which is very interesting. But it's just like she doesn't even know. She's like pulling at both ends of the rope. She said, I don't care what society thinks of me. But then she's also saying, well, I want kids and stuff like that, but I'm picky. So like, you don't even know what you want, man. And that's fine. With time, with age comes wisdom. That's been the message of the day. You don't know what you want right now? That's perfectly fine. Probably 10 years down the line, you will. And if you don't, hey, it'll come. Hopefully. If it doesn't, then it wasn't meant to be. That being said, I am JIGJTT. That's the end of the video. Love you guys. We're out. You want to see her video? Cecilia Plus. Bye.